There was a time when the name Mel Gibson carried an almost mythic weight in Hollywood, spoken with admiration, excitement, and a certain awe reserved for stars who seemed larger than life. He wasn't merely an actor appearing in successful films. He was an embodiment of intensity, masculinity, and emotional fire. When audiences watched him charge into battle in Braveheart or portray spiritual suffering in The Passion of the Christ, they weren't just seeing performances. They were witnessing a man who appeared to give everything of himself to the screen. For years, Mel Gibson stood as one of Hollywood's most bankable and respected figures, admired for his charisma, creative daring, and willingness to take risks others avoided. Fame did not creep up on him slowly. It arrived like a thunderclap, reshaping his life before he had time to fully understand its cost. Early life and the roots of intensity. Born in 1956 in Peekskill, New York, Mel Gibson grew up as one of 11 children in a deeply religious family, an environment that instilled discipline, faith, and a strong sense of moral structure. When his family relocated to Australia during his youth, he found himself straddling two identities, American-born yet shaped by Australian culture, which later contributed to the unique edge he brought to his performances. Acting was not initially part of a grand plan, but once he discovered it, it became an outlet for emotions that were otherwise difficult to express. Even early on, those close to him noticed a deep seriousness beneath his charm, a tendency toward introspection that could quickly turn inward. That emotional depth, which would later captivate audiences, was also the seed of struggles that would surface years later under the pressure of fame. Mad Max and the Birth of a Star. Gibson's breakout role in Mad Max transformed him overnight from an unknown actor into a global phenomenon. Despite the film's modest budget and gritty tone, his portrayal of a hardened, emotionally fractured anti-hero resonated with audiences who sensed something authentic beneath the violence and despair. The character's quiet rage and haunted presence felt lived in, not manufactured, and it marked Gibson as an actor capable of embodying pain without words. With Mad Max, he didn't just gain recognition. He gained an identity in the public imagination, one that associated him with raw power and emotional volatility. This early success opened doors to Hollywood, but it also set expectations that would follow him relentlessly throughout his career. Hollywood embrace and global stardom. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, Mel Gibson became one of the most sought-after actors in the world, seamlessly transitioning between genres and proving his versatility. Films like Gallipoli, The Year of Living Dangerously, and the Lethal Weapon series showcased his ability to balance vulnerability with strength, humor with darkness. Audiences didn't just watch him, they trusted him, believing in the emotional truth of every role. Off-screen, he appeared to live a stable life, as a devoted husband, a father, and a man guided by faith, reinforcing the perception that he was grounded despite extraordinary success. Few questioned whether the pressure of maintaining that image might eventually become too heavy. Braveheart and the weight of creative power. When Gibson decided to direct and star in Braveheart, many in the industry doubted the project's viability, yet his conviction carried it forward. The film's success was monumental, earning critical acclaim and multiple Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. It cemented Gibson's reputation not only as a leading man, but as a serious filmmaker with a singular vision. Yet the triumph came at a personal cost, as the emotional and physical demands of the film mirrored the inner turmoil Gibson often carried. The themes of sacrifice, loss, and moral struggle reflected aspects of his own life, though few recognized it at the time. With greater power came greater isolation, and the distance between public success and private struggle began to widen. Independence, faith, and controversy following Braveheart, Gibson sought greater creative independence by founding Icon Productions, allowing him to pursue projects driven by personal passion rather than studio demands. This freedom led to The Passion of the Christ, a deeply personal and faith-driven film that sparked intense global debate. While the film achieved enormous financial success and moved many viewers, it also placed Gibson at the center of cultural and religious controversy. The experience reinforced his reputation as a polarizing figure, admired by some for his conviction and criticized by others for his intensity. What remained largely unseen was the emotional toll of standing at the center of such fierce public scrutiny. Cracks beneath the surface. As Gibson entered middle age, subtle changes became more apparent to those around him. Friends and colleagues noticed periods of withdrawal, heightened sensitivity, and moments of visible strain. The pressures of fame, combined with unresolved emotional pain and long-standing struggles with alcohol, began to surface more openly. Though he continued to work, there was a growing sense that the balance he once maintained was slipping. Public appearances sometimes revealed a man carrying invisible weight, and behind closed doors, the effort to remain composed grew increasingly exhausting. The world still saw the warrior, but the man behind the armor was faltering. A night that changed everything. In 2006, a late-night incident became a defining turning point in Gibson's life and career. What might have been a private mistake instead unfolded publicly, igniting widespread backlash and condemnation. The fallout was immediate and severe, reshaping public perception almost overnight. Studios distanced themselves, projects disappeared, and long-standing admiration gave way to disappointment and anger. Gibson later acknowledged his long battle with addiction and sought help, but the damage to his reputation was profound. For the first time, the world saw not a heroic figure, but a deeply flawed human being struggling under the weight of his own actions. Public judgment and personal reckoning. The years that followed were marked by intense scrutiny and painful introspection. Media coverage often focused on his lowest moments, while Gibson retreated from the spotlight to confront personal issues that had long gone unaddressed. Rehabilitation, therapy, and accountability became part of his daily reality, not as public gestures, but as necessities for survival. The loss of trust, both professionally and personally, forced him to reevaluate his identity beyond fame. It was a humbling process, stripping away illusions of invincibility and leaving behind a man forced to reckon with the consequences of his behavior. The long road back. Despite diminished visibility, Gibson never fully stopped working. He accepted smaller roles, collaborated quietly, and gradually rebuilt professional relationships through consistent effort rather than public appeals. Redemption did not arrive quickly, nor was it guaranteed. Trust in Hollywood, once broken, is slow to mend, and Gibson understood that no apology could instantly undo years of pain. Instead, he focused on discipline, self-reflection, and maintaining sobriety, recognizing that personal growth mattered more than public approval. Hacksaw Ridge and A Quiet Return. In 2016, Gibson returned to directing with Hacksaw Ridge, a film rooted in themes of faith, courage, and redemption. Its critical success surprised many and reminded audiences of his undeniable talent behind the camera. The film's recognition marked a cautious turning point, not a full restoration, but a moment of acknowledgement that artistic ability and personal failure can coexist. The applause, while respectful, was measured, reflecting an industry still grappling with how to reconcile his past with his present, living with a complicated legacy. Today, Mel Gibson exists in a space defined neither by complete rejection nor full acceptance. He continues to work selectively, mentor younger filmmakers, and spend time with his family, choosing a quieter life removed from constant public attention. Those who know him describe a man changed by experience, more reflective, less driven by ego, and acutely aware of the harm caused by his past actions. His faith remained central, though now tempered by humility and doubt, qualities that suggest a man still learning how to forgive himself. Aging, reflection, and acceptance. At 70, Gibson no longer commands the industry as he once did, and perhaps he no longer seeks to. The relentless pace of fame has given way to introspection, and the roles he takes reflect that shift. There is a sense of stillness in his later years, tinged with regret, but also with resilience. He understands that some losses cannot be undone, that certain chapters remain permanently altered, yet he continues to move forward rather than surrender to bitterness. What his story teaches us, Mel Gibson's journey is not simply a tale of downfall, nor is it a clean redemption story. It is a human story, marked by talent, pain, mistakes, accountability, and endurance. It challenges the idea that greatness guarantees wisdom, or that failure defines a person forever. His life illustrates how unresolved struggles can quietly grow beneath success, and how public judgment often overlooks the complexity of personal battles. A man, not a myth beyond the headlines and history, Mel Gibson remains what he has always been beneath the fame. A man capable of brilliance and error, conviction and contradiction. His story resonates because it reflects something deeply human, the struggle to live with one's past while still believing in the possibility of meaning. Whether remembered as a cinematic legend, a controversial figure, or a cautionary tale, his life reminds us that no one is immune to inner conflict. And perhaps that is the most enduring truth of all, that behind every icon stands a person still searching for peace.